remember we are recording, so don't say anything you don't want the NSA to know about. Do we have any first-time attendees or new members here today? Anybody on Zoom new? No?
Kate Ward, are you new? Sorry to call you out.
Hi,
If-
yes. Sorry, I just went to grab some water.
Okay. Do you want to introduce yourself and tell us why you're interested in APA?
Yeah, absolutely. I live in Arvada and am neighbors with Taylor. And we had dinner the other night and he shared about what you all are doing. And so I wanted to jump on the call.
Wonderful. Thank you. Welcome.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Do we have any elected officials or candidates here today that would like to say hello? Looks like no. How about what keeps you up at night or what gives you hope? Floor is open.
I'll start. This is great. Lauren Simpson came to Vanderhoof Elementary this week I don't even know why she was there, but she came into my son's second grade classroom. And I asked him, I said, what did you say to her? What did you say to the mayor? Because we've met her a couple times and I didn't know if he remembered. He said, I told her we needed a crosswalk next to the bus stop. And so I'm very happy with him hearing the adults and pushing the agenda. So you listening.
Well, I have to say, this whole Supreme Court nonsense is just keeping me up at night. I can't even be articulate about it because it just makes me absolutely nuts how much corruption there is and how many fingers are in the political process right now. It just makes me sick to my stomach.
Yeah, one of the things that keeps you up at night is that the Democrats have essentially had the same message for over 3 years, and it's an important subject that Trump threatens democracy, but they've been doing it for 3.5 years, and it's not working. The polls do not show that the voters are responding to that message. So I'm hoping the Democrats find a message that resonates. And I know, Trump is a huge threat, but we have to have a message that resonates with more people. And yeah, what gives me hope is more people being involved, unions supporting ceasefire and supporting each other, that sort of thing. People seeing more of their connections from the different issues. That gives me hope.
Thank you. Bruce used the term "we" with regard to the Democratic Party, so I would just remind anybody out there, this is a nonpartisan organization. So Bruce is hoping that the Democratic Party gets its act together.
Yeah. It would be nice if the Republicans did too. That's not gonna happen.
Yes. We hope both parties get their act together. Darlon.
Well, what gives me hope is that yesterday I was at the Climate Lobby Day for 350 Colorado and Colorado Rising, and it was the largest lobby day I've seen. I've been there for the last 4 years, and there are 180 participants. And there was a real flagship bill that was introduced yesterday. It was Senate Bill 24-159. It fades out all new oil and gas permits in Colorado, not just fracking, but all new oil and gas permits by 2030. And we had a stirring press conference with a number of great speakers yesterday. So that gives me hope that Colorado is capable of putting out a bill like this, and hopefully we can get it passed.
Thank you. Do we have a hope or a fear or a concern online? Yes.
My primary concern may seem pretty far away for a lot of folks, but we had a couple of foreign exchange students live with us over the last 10, 15 years. And one was from Gaza and the other one was from the West Bank. And I'm really concerned about their family's safety, the whole issue. You know, I got raised in a situation where, of course, we all supported Israel and its establishment and its safety for Jews. And I still support safety for Jews everywhere, but I support safety for everybody else. And I'm watching, what I'm watching happen right now reminds me a lot of what we European folks did to our Native Americans a couple hundred years ago. And just because we show up and take over doesn't make us right.
Okay.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Well, I have hope, and it lies with the young people. So I lived with that through the 1950s and 60s and was part of the movement at that point, which was quite successful. And you'll probably remember the Chicago Democratic Party meeting. And there was, I was there, and there was a recognition for what the young people wanted. Of course, it didn't succeed over the coming decades, but that's where my hope is. And that's where I'm working currently, particularly with the folks in the university settings and in the secular hub down in Denver. And we have a collection of young people there and dealing with social political movements. The other thing I'll mention is that I'm disappointed in both the Democratic Party and the Republican Party. And I'll be at the caucus. I'll be one of the delegates. I hope that they'll have me. And I'm uncommitted at this point. I can't commit to the foreign policy that we currently have.
Thank you, Tom. Anybody else? All right, Joyce, would you please pass the basket we collected each meeting to pay for this room and our Zoom
You have
subscription?
some hands, you know.
And while that's happening, we have more online, more concerns. What keeps you up at night or what gives you hope?
So I was trying to talk earlier and I was muted, so can you hear me now?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
So I'm with Joyce that the Supreme Court keeps me up at night, but my hope is that sometimes it takes hitting rock bottom before people get it together and act. And my hope is that that's close enough to rock bottom that a lot of the independents and folks who haven't been invested in the upcoming election start getting invested and do something so that because even though, you know, I'm not talking from a partisan perspective now, but I am talking from a saving democracy perspective. That is the importantest, yeah, great grammar, Harriet. The most important issue that we absolutely have got to do. If we lose a president that believes in democracy in November, why, that's it for our country for a long time. I don't think it's it forever, but it's going to be it for the rest of my lifetime for sure, and probably everybody in APA. So
Thank you. Thank you.
I plan on living more than 4 years, but.
Al, you have a comment?
Yes, I just wanted to mention that I cannot help but agree 1000% with everyone. The recent SCOTUS thing, I spent 3 days just being crushed by both depression and anxiety for the possibilities. And it just has just made me resolve that it's not just the things here locally, that I must do things for other states. And I've decided that I am going to write letters and postcards as a lot trying to get additional people out, because as I see, that is all we have left is to get out the vote in swing states.
Thank you. Thank you all for contributing. Those are all worthy concerns and hopes. We're now ready to hear from our action leaders. If you could come up near the owl and maybe queue up before the next person, before the previous person is done. We're going to go Allison, Bruce, Kathy, Darlene, Mindy, Joyce, and Julie's on Zoom. Allison, would you like to start?
Sure thing. All right, can you hear me okay online if I'm standing over here? All good? Okay. And you'll see my face here, but there's no sound here. Okay, I'm the communications team lead. I'm Allison Phipps. As far as communications go, we have a new member. Jackie, I don't think is on this call today, but she is helping us with our CTA this week. So we have new people helping with the CTA, which is super fantastic. If anybody has experience with messaging, marketing, that sort of thing, always give me a ring. I would love even more help. But I do have a new face, so I won't be the only one sending out the newsletter anymore. Woo! And Robin is still helping. She's not gone, but she's in the background. All right, and then for the education team update, Mindy has just told me that Superintendent Tracy Dorland is going to be at the city council meeting that is happening on
Monday.
What day is
That's
that?
this Monday.
Is it March?
March 5th, I think.
Fourth.
March 4th.
Four.
This is a big meeting. Bruce is gonna talk about it. Also, ASJ is gonna be talking about hate speech in Arvada. So if you can come to the city council meeting on Monday at 6 o'clock, it'll be a big one. We'll be supporting anti-war, we'll be supporting anti-hate, and maybe hearing about what they're gonna do with the empty school buildings that have closed in Jeffco. Which is one of our action items that we'll talk today about of what we maybe will support or not support. As far as other education team updates, there are a few bills. If you're not on my mailing list, I will be sending out education team updates this week with some new things. Most recently, budget stabilization factor has finally gone away. This upcoming school year will be the first fully funded school year, I think, in the last 10 years. So we will finally have it, the full budget that schools are supposed to get in Colorado will be getting. Now, we've got a long way to go to catch up to all that money that was lost in public schools in Colorado, but it is nice that now finally all that money will be going to where it belongs. So that's just a little update of good legislation that finally but yeah, that's all for education and communication.
Yeah. Hi, yeah, I'm Bruce Morrison. I'm the anti-war action team lead, and like Allison said, we are going to be at the Arvada City Council meeting on Monday. That starts at 6. If you want to help us by testifying, which we'd love to have people testify, need to get there about 15 minutes, 10 minutes early, so you can sign up, and then you can testify. We have, if you don't want to testify, there's an opportunity to send each city council person an email. And if you want those emails, or if you want to get on the Arvadans For Progressive Action email list, get with me and give me your, if you're not already on the list, give me your email, and I'll let you know, give you a link with all the email addresses and phone numbers.
Do you know that you just go on, do we just go on the city website and then you email them directly from that email that's on the?
Right,
or-
on the website, there's a page that has pictures of all the members of city council. And then underneath each picture is a link to their phone number and their email address. I found it a little bit hard to find. I just, I kind of got dead-ended, so I didn't see it and stuff. So if you want a link to it, just give me your email address and I can say, I can do that. I think everyone knows the situation in Gaza. Over 30,000 are dead, thousands more under the rubble. People are starting to die of famine and disease from lack of clean water. That's what really gets me. How do you live without clean water? We'd appreciate any help you can give us and come to the.
So Bruce, you're specifically asking for the city to come up with a resolution for a permanent ceasefire. Is that what you want people to say? Or?
Right, we have come up with a resolution. And it's a fairly modest resolution. It's calling for a ceasefire. And it mentions the Gaza and the situations in there. And one of the things that's not in the ceasefire is the fact that the taxpayers of Arvada spend approximately $1.8 million a year that goes to help fund Israel and their military. And the $14 billion a year that they are considering would be $6.8 million from the people of Arvada taxpayers. So that's going to be one of our arguments to the city, is that it does affect us because it reduces our resources that we can spend on ourselves. So I think that's it. Yeah.
Is the resolution on the website?
The resolution is not on the website.
We could get it on the
get
website.
it on
We
the
could also
website.
send it out in the next CTA. It probably will go out like Monday night though.
Yeah, see, it'll be after the meeting. So, I mean, I could get on and send it out to everybody in MailChimp.
I think that'd be great, so that
Yeah.
people can read the resolution and then refer to it.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll try to send something out, if not tonight, tomorrow.
Okay.
You should post on Facebook too.
I did post it on Facebook,
Okay.
but I didn't, and maybe you can help me with this. I don't know how to put an attachment on Facebook. Is there a
Like an
way?
image or
No, an
like,
attachment. So the file that has the resolution, can I put that as attachment? or
you'd
do I
have to take a picture, either like a screenshot of it, like if it's a picture of the resolution, like if it's a PDF, just make it into a JPEG or.
Oh,
take
if I
a
make it
screenshot.
into a JPEG,
Then you can just
then
as
I
a
can
picture.
add it as a picture.
Otherwise, you'd have to add a link to like a Google Drive.
Right.
We can talk about that.
Which would be
after the meeting.
complicated.
I'll help you.
Probably not sure.
I'll help you.
Thanks. Sorry.
Hi, everybody. I'm Kathy Blake, the APA Healthcare Action Team Leader. And our team advocates for Medicare for All Improved. So there's been a lot going on in the last couple months. On February 7th, House Bill 1075, analysis of the universal healthcare payment system, passed through the committee, and we had a lobby day, and there were several of us that went down there, and I wrote a blog. You can find it under healthcare on the APA website. That was a really exciting day. Now, coming up next week, we've on that thing, we're waiting for it to go through appropriations, and that's all we can do right now as far as the state. On the federal side, on March 7th, our team was, yes, let's go. We're gonna have a meeting with Representative Brittany Peterson's team and their staff. And you can come either in person or on Zoom, getting together a group. I have some flyers here that give you more details. And you can do it on Zoom too. There's going to be somebody that's having that. So what we're asking her to do is to support traditional Medicare improve it, add, a hearing and vision and some of the other things that are not there right now. And the other big piece is reining in Medicare disadvantage, which, there's been several articles that come out recently about how they charge the government for, the private insurance companies that have these Medicare Advantage plans. They charge the government for false or exaggerated claims for people that, they say, oh, you have a hand now. Well, no, you're really sick. Well, so that on the one hand, they get more money from government, and on the other hand, they deny claims. They charge, or people have to wait. People get denied their care. So that way the companies get more profit because they're denying care and not paying out, and yet they're getting this money from the government. So we've not been happy with Representative Peterson. Last year we went and talked to her, and she did the bad things and did do the good things. And so we hope that this time that will change her mind. So I have some flyers here. I hope we can, Karen, we're looking forward to seeing you there too. And I'm gonna give a few of these out. So thank you.
Thank you, Kathy.
Thank you, Kathy. Good, I'll be there.
Great. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Darlon Chang, the lead for the environment team. And I want to thank the APA members who came out with me on February 5th. They did public comment at the Arvadans City Council. We gave public comments about climate action and the need for the city to consider how to update their sustainability plan to be in line with the Jefferson County Climate Action Plan. And it was a good time to have that public comment as well, because it was before the retreat. So I'll find out at the next Arvada Sustainability Advisory Committee what came out of that retreat and what priorities that they're going to put for the city of Arvada in terms of the strategic plan for climate action. I'm also working with the JETCO Students and Parents for Climate Action, a new group that started a couple of months ago under the lead of Sarah Kunstler from Mountain Mamas. And she is available to come for our next meeting to talk about what's being done through that group to encourage the Jefferson County School Board to follow the lead of Jefferson County, as well as the cities within Jefferson County, like Arvada. In Arvada hiring a sustainability coordinator last year, and having that sustainability coordinator get grants and get us access to federal funds and state funds that we otherwise wouldn't have access to without a full-time staff member dedicated to that. And we need something similar for the Jefferson County School Board to get after those grants, like electric school buses and retrofitting schools to use heat pumps and weatherizing schools, as well as improving the recycling and composting. So right now my daughter goes to Ralston Valley High School, and she is doing fundraising just to get money for recycling bins. And she personally thinks that's ridiculous, that the school doesn't pay for recycling bins. So she made a public comment to Director Paula Reed to that effect. And Paula Reed made the comment that she doesn't hear much about climate action at the school board meetings. She hears plenty from the right wing, but not much from climate action folks. And that's a big regret for me. I took that to heart, and I gave my first public comment at the JETCO School Board a couple of weeks ago. So I invited the school board members to come to the Geos neighborhood to see how you can have all electric net zero homes, and you can apply those technologies to the schools as well. And they're planning on coming March 30th for Director Paula Reed, and April 13th is the likely date for President Mary Parker. I'll put out the invitation to all APA members if you'd like to come to those Geos tours so that you can have a chance to talk with the school board members. We're also looking to bring students from the schools. My daughter is going to try to recruit her classmates for environmental club. So it could be a perfect confluence of having school board member with students and with APA members all at once. So in addition to that, I'd like to encourage APA members to consider looking up your school board meetings and giving a comment as well. So that's what I've got for my update. Thanks.
Thank you. Mindy.
Oh, I'm Mindy Moore with the Affordable Housing / Homelessness Team. Thank you to folks who spoke up about the need for a navigation campus to help the unhoused with finding work and homes and services and IDs. And actually, it was very effective because at the strategic retreat, they did adopt a goal to create a navigation center in Arvada. Now, I don't know the status or what the city team will be coming up with, but it was one of the goals that Randy Mormon and others got to push through. So that's great. There's a few other upcoming workshops and things on affordable housing in Arvada. I'll just send out an email to our affordable housing team, people who are interested about those upcoming things. And if you're not on there and are interested, let me know. I'll add you in our MailChimp database. But I just want to spend my other minute following up on what Allison said about there's been a lot of hate speech, right-wing misinformation going on in Jefferson County. You've probably seen a lot of it in the newspapers, people showing up in Wheat Ridge, Lakewood, and we really fear it's starting in Arvada now. And some of the Jeffco GOP might be behind some of it. That's been found from, I think Kyle Clark investigated that and others, but they're talking anti-migrant, anti-other, making anti-Semitic remarks at these meetings. I mean, it's just going on and on, just a lot of hate and misinformation. So that's one of the reasons ASJ is asking people to also come to Monday night's Arvada City Council meeting, either remotely or if you can in person, to speak up that Arvada is a welcoming city. We're not going to tolerate this right-wing hate speech, misinformation. They're spreading rumors that Denver was going to buy an apartment building in John Marriott's district to house migrants, stuff like that. There's just so much crap going on out there. And so we need to really fight back. If they're going to show up at our city council meeting, we need to be there and show that we are not that way in Arvada. Thank you.
Hi, Joyce Richardson with the Political Action Committee. My email, if you would put it in the chat, is PULANE76@gmail.com. If you want to get involved, this is the year to do it. Depending on what comes out of here will be kind of our guideline of what we will be doing this year. We are planning on trying to keep information on our website and hopefully Facebook about opportunities to get involved on the national level. We are nonpartisan, so we have to be kind of careful about how we do that. But it's a big year and we're gonna need a lot of help. And that's all I'm gonna say because Kathryn is gonna tell us about the Democratic Party caucus stuff when Julia is done, or Julie is done.
Julie Callahan.
Hi,
You're on.
everybody. Can you hear me? My name is
Yes.
Julie Callahan. I'm the social chair. I host book club. Unfortunately, I have COVID right now. And I'm beginning to fade, so I'm not going to say much. The book we're going to be reading, or we are reading, is 14 Days, I think. And we were supposed to have book club this Wednesday night, and I'm going to make a decision and cancel because I do not want to infect anyone. And so I think rather than postpone it and try and scramble it in, it's a long book, so we're just going to skip the month of March and hit directly into April. That should give everybody a chance to read the book. If you have, I'm going to update the Facebook page probably tomorrow. And I'm sorry that I don't have more information and I have more energy, but that's it for me for the day. Thank you and have a great day.
Thanks, Julie.
Feel better, Julie.
Thank you.
And before we move on to the rest of our program, remember we're recording this meeting. We have two topics for the rest of this meeting. One is caucuses coming up soon, and we're going to going to learn from Kathryn Wallace about how those caucuses are going to function. And then the second thing after that is we're going to talk about goals for the year, which we started at our last meeting. And today we're going to narrow down from a bunch of goals that we've got up on the board here and that we'll have available for people to see online. But we'll do that after Kathryn Wallace. So Ms. Wallace, are you ready?
I am.
It's all yours.
Hi, everyone. So I'm going to go on camera long enough to say hello. I'm wearing my Jeffco Dems t-shirt, sporting my colors. And so wanted to say hello before I go off camera because I don't like being seen. Okay, so I am here to talk to you. I'm the first vice chair of the Jeffco Dems, and I am doing all of the logistics for caucus and assembly. And so I've been giving trainings. We've had 3 of them. And so I think a lot of people have gotten trained. And I am going to share my screen. And hopefully all of you there in the room can see what I'm going to be showing you. And the first thing I'm going to do is call your attention to our website. This is jeffcodems.org. Pretty easy to remember, jeffcodems.org. And the slideshow I'm about to show you is on the website. It's this information on the caucus and assembly process button here in the middle. So you don't have to take a bunch of notes or anything. All of it is here on the website. And then register for caucus is also here on the website. If you haven't already done so, please do that. And then my whole 45 minutes of training that I'm going to cram into 10 minutes for you today. If you'd like to see the 45-minute version, that training video is also available here on the website. And we also talk about becoming a precinct organizer, which is a way for you to be more involved in the party and to represent your precinct. If you're a registered Democrat, all of this is honestly only for registered Democrats, but you can be a volunteer and you can sign up to be a volunteer on our website, and we take all volunteers. We're not checking your party card at the door if you want to volunteer. But there's lots of ways to get involved. And so all of this is just slap on the front page of the website. And so what I'm going to do is kind of go through this again pretty quickly. And then I understand there will be time for questions at the end. And I will be happy to take questions because this is, again, a 45-minute training that I'm going to cram into 10 minutes. So the 2024 Caucus and Assembly Path. Caucus is March 9th at 9:30 a.m. It says till 1, but honestly, you're going to be out of there by noon. I mean, maybe even 11:30. Caucus is just not going to take that long this year. The assembly, which is the next step in the process, the Jefferson County Assembly on March 30th, that is going to be an all-day affair, especially if you live in Senate District 19, which I think a lot of you do. So login is at 9. It will take us an hour to get everyone checked in, but you can walk away from your computer between 9 and 10, and then we'll do the gavel as soon as we have a quorum at hopefully at 10 o'clock, and then we'll go through till 2, and I'll go into more details for that. And the things we do in very, very short, at caucus, you run to be a delegate to the county assembly, and you can run to be a precinct organizer. And that's really what we do at caucus, is just those 2 things. And then at the Jefferson County Assembly, you can run to be a delegate for the multi-county races. And you also do the preference poll in the multi-county race. So I'm going to throw some dates at you really fast. Again, this is all on the website. If you live in House District 24 or Senate District 19, those multi-county assemblies are on April 10th at 6 and 7 o'clock respectively. So if you're wanting to see it all the way through the process for Senate District 19, that's 3 meetings, March 9th, March 30th, and April 10th. So just keep in mind that there are 3 meetings. And it's not just Senate District 19. There are also multi-county assemblies for Judicial District 1, all of the CDs, and the State Assembly. So that's a whole week of meetings, and you're certainly welcome to sign up for all of these things. But, you know, also, you know, that's a lot of meetings. So sign up for what you want to sign up for. Quickly, caucus, we're gonna have check-in. There'll be a gavel. We'll do the Pledge of Allegiance. The longest part of caucus is going to be seeing videos from the candidates. So we have collected videos from everyone who's going to be on your ballot who submitted a video. And we're going to just play all these videos. It's a 2-minute per candidate video, so these should go pretty quickly. And that's going to be the bulk of the time at caucus. Then there's going to be a Google form, which you will need to fill out. And that's how you get recorded as a participant in caucus. And that's also where you will indicate that you want to be a precinct organizer and or a delegate. And it's very important that you fill that form out according to your wishes. If you want to be a delegate, you have to say so on that form, or you will not be a delegate further down the process. Now, it's not going to be hard, and we're going to have plenty of time and be very patient with everyone and have tech support and the whole 9 yards. But that's really, really critical that you fill that form out accordingly. Then we'll take 2 quick votes, and then that's it. Caucus is over. And so this is just kind of going over what I just said. At County Assembly, this is a much longer agenda because there's a lot more business to do. 9 o'clock check-in, 10 o'clock gavel, Pledge of Allegiance. There will be speeches from statewide candidates interspersed whenever they show up. We will do all of our county-wide business first, which will be a nomination of the county commissioners. We have 2 commissioner seats available, and you will all get to vote for 2 people. The Democrats running are Andy Kerr and Rachel Zenzinger, and they are not running against each other. You get to vote for both of them. And then we will, Judicial District 1 is a multi-county, so we will elect delegates to that multi-county. And then we will do our preference poll for the region at large race, which is the statewide race that we vote on. And we will also elect delegates to the state assembly. Then we'll have 3 sets of breakout rooms, the congressional district, then the House district, then the Senate district. So this makes for a very long day, and I apologize. If you think it's bad for you, I'm not done at 2. I have to do all the data collection and data entry, and I have to get it all done on the 30th because on the 31st, I am leaving the country. So if you think it's a long day for you, just feel for me. All right, so I'm going to talk about this next thing in a little bit of detail and try to go a little slower here. So you go to caucus, you say, I want to be a delegate to the county assembly. That's on March 9th. Around March 10th or March 11th, you're going to get an email if you're a delegate, and there's no limit to how many delegates can come from out of caucus into the county assembly. All you have to do is check that box, poof, you're a delegate. You will get an email, and it'll tell you if you would like to be a delegate to a multi-county or state assembly, fill out this Google form. So here's another Google form. You're all going to see a million Google forms. And that Google form is where you will need to indicate, I would like to be a delegate to CD7, to SD19, to the state. And you have to give us that information between the caucus and the assembly. The deadline for that will be March 28th. So you're going to have weeks to get this done. But you will need to do that. And at that point, you will have to tell us which candidate you want to be a delegate for. So if you haven't made up your mind by then and you want to be a delegate moving on, by March 28th, you have to make a decision on who you want to be a delegate for. And hopefully the candidates have been reaching out to you and having conversations with you, and you've had forums, and you can make that decision. And you will have to pick a side at that point. And you will tell us again ahead of time, I want to be a delegate for candidate A. So then once you get to the county assembly on March 30th, we will have collected all those names. And at the county assembly, there will be these preference polls, and we'll do it for the state. We'll do it for SD19. There's no contested races for the congressional districts, so that's really the only places that we're going to be doing preference poll is in SD19 and for the state. So on the Google form for the preference poll, when you say, I want to vote for candidate A, you will then get a list of all those people who said they want to be a delegate for candidate A. You will only see your candidate delegates. And at that point, you will get to vote for the delegates themselves, the individual people. And you will get to vote for 5 to 10. That number hasn't been decided yet, but it will be more than one names for delegates. And then whoever the top vote getters are for that come out of that will get to be the delegates to the multi-county. Now, in Senate District 19, we get a total of 73 delegates. And right now, I think 216 people have signed up for caucus from Senate District 19. So not everyone's going to get to be a delegate to SD 19. And the other thing that I have to tell you is it's supposed to be gender balanced, which means that not only do we have to figure out who the top vote getters were, but we have to figure out the top men and the top women. And we also take care of non-binary people and all of that. So there's a lot of math that has to be done to determine who the actual delegates end up being. And all of that is my fun job, so don't worry about it. For a candidate to get any delegates at all, they have to get 15% of the vote. So in the preference poll. So if one candidate just dominates the other candidate to the point where they don't even get 15%, well, then that candidate doesn't get any delegates, and all the delegates get to be for the candidate who got 86%. So then after all that is done and we've got our delegates to multi-county, the state party will administer the multi-county assembly that takes place on April 9th, April 10th, April 11th, and April 13th. And so I don't directly have anything to do with that. I just know that at that assembly, you will be taking a vote. It's no longer a preference poll, it's an actual vote for your candidate. And for a candidate to be placed on the ballot, they have to either get 30% of the vote or 10% of the vote if they have also petitioned on. And then the single county assemblies are those like House District 27 and several other House districts. 24 is multi-county, 29 and 35 are all multi-county. So most of you probably live in 24 or 27. If you live in House District 27, there is no multi-county. The end of the road for Brianna's vote is going to be at the county assembly in that House District breakout room. Same thing, she's got to get 30% of the vote. She's going to get 100% of the vote, so not much of a nail biter there, but the same rules apply. All right, so that is the end of my slideshow. Hey, did I do good? That was way less than 10 minutes, right?
Thank you.
All right, I am free to take questions.
Thank you very much. Yes, Bruce.
Yeah.
Real loud for the owl and for
Okay,
Kathryn.
yeah.
I can hear you.
Yeah, okay. Typically in caucuses before, there has been, and I know there's a form on the website to submit planks for the platform.
Yes.
And so when are those considered?
So we are not doing platform at caucus because the way it used to work is you would come to your precinct caucus and you would submit your platform plank and then your little precinct would vote for it. But then by the time it got up to the county level, it was only information coming from 1 or 2 precincts and it got ignored. Or the county would get a lot of people, but then by the time it got up to the state, it would get ignored. And so we have cut all the middlemen out of the process and you can go directly to the state. And you did see that link on our website, and they are still, the platform committee they met today and they are still accepting platform recommendations. And the way it gets into the platform is that it gets voted on at the state assembly. So if you want to be a delegate to the state assembly on April 13th, then you will get to vote for the platform, but it's an up or down vote. It's not plank by plank. But to even get it considered by the state party, you've got to fill out that form. But again, I know it might seem like, well, why are you ripping this away from us? We can't do this at caucus anymore. We're actually cutting out the middleman and just allowing you to go directly to the state party where they actually make the decisions about what gets presented to the state assembly.
So the platform, if you submit one, it goes to the state platform committee and they
Correct.
decide.
They
Okay.
decide.
Because I know it used to be Jefferson County had a much more progressive platform than the state. So,
Jefferson County has never had a platform.
I worked on the platform. I was on the platform committee in
But
2000.
the county itself doesn't have its own platform. They used to make recommendations and they probably were more progressive. But in my time, there has never been a Jefferson County Democratic Party platform as such.
Oh, okay. Well, I worked on it. I know that there was one at one time. But, okay, thank you.
Other questions about caucuses?
I think Hal has.
Yes. No.
No, oh, I have one.
Choice.
So you have to, if you want to eventually try to be a delegate to the state, you've got to start at the caucus level, correct?
Correct. Yep.
All right.
If you want to be a delegate to anything further downstream, including the Democratic National Convention in Chicago, you got to start at caucus. It all starts at caucus.
All right, thanks.
Aren't you glad it's virtual?
I am, some people aren't.
Now, my understanding is that you have to be present for the initial caucus, and then later caucuses or assemblies, you can have a proxy. So, does that apply at, like, say, the state level, or do you have to physically attend at that meeting?
So I don't know if the state multi-county assemblies are going to allow for proxy voting. Unfortunately, I don't. That came up earlier today, and I haven't had a chance to circle back with the people at the state party to find out if they are allowing proxies. I can tell you that Jefferson County definitely is. So if you can't attend caucus, but you can attend assembly, and you know someone who can attend caucus but not assembly, you can work out a proxy situation. And that email that all the delegates are going to get by March 11th will give you the proxy form as well.
But you have to show up on March 9th.
Unless you're carrying a proxy, and then you can carry a proxy even if you didn't show up on March 9th.
Okay.
Well, I understand that one must be a registered Democrat. Does it make a difference if one's active or inactive?
So there aren't a lot of inactive voters in Colorado. You do have to be an active registered Democrat as of February 16th. It has to be 22 days before the caucus. So if you haven't registered as a Democrat, that ship has sailed. But I do believe you have to be active to be considered eligible for caucus. I certainly hope all of you are considered active voters. It takes a lot to be considered inactive. It's not just that you don't fill out a ballot one year. That doesn't make you inactive like it used to. To be inactive, you've got to like not vote for a long time or something else. We find out that you're registered in another state or something like that to be considered an inactive voter. It's definitely not, oh, I missed one election and now I'm not active anymore.
Well, that clarifies that I never missed an election, but I was called inactive, but that if I didn't miss an election, then I'm active. Is that correct?
Yeah, you should definitely be active. And so I'll put it in the chat, but and you guys are welcome to give out my email address in the newsletter if you want, or however you want to get this to everyone since you're not all watching the chat. But if you want me to check on your registration status, by all means, let me know. If you registered for caucus and it found you, then you're active registered voter. I can assure you you're good. And if you want to find out if your registration went through, you can also email me and I can verify that for you. If your registration went through, you would have gotten an email. If you didn't get an email saying, here's your precinct and your Zoom link, then something went awry with your registration. And an email is going to go out today for all of those that have registered, reminding you of all your pertinent information. And again, one will go out next Friday, the night before caucus, reminding everyone again, here's your Zoom link, here's your precinct. You do need to know your precinct for caucus. And so we're trying to over communicate. So if you have not received a communication, you are not registered.
Thank you.
Thank you, Allison.
So this year, you're caucusing like for Senate District 19, because there's 2 candidates and they have to get 15% of their vote to be on the primary, but isn't there a signature initiative too, to also get them on the primary ballot? Like,
yeah, so let me clarify a couple things. First of all, at caucus, you're not caucusing for anyone. Caucus is, there's no polling, at caucus, you don't say a candidate at all. You just show up and say, I want to be a delegate. And then there's 15% and there's 30% and then there's 10%. It can be very confusing. So from county to multi-county, to get any delegates, you have to get 15% of the vote. Then at the multi-county, where we only get 73 delegates altogether, that's where you have to get 30% of the vote, or 10% if you're also petitioning on. So that's where the petition effort comes into play. And I know for a fact that both Lindsay and Obi are petitioning on. And so they are covering their bases that they only need to get 10% of that 73 delegates plus 2 from Adams County. So a total of 75. So you only need to get like 8 votes at the multi-county if you've gotten the signatures, and which is why both of them push so hard for those signatures, is so that they don't even have to worry about getting 30%. They only have to get 10.
okay. And so you won't, at caucus, we will not be voting for Senate District 19.
Nope.
That time is at the April 10th meeting or the March 30th?
That comes at both. At March 30th, there will be a preference poll. And then you will also elect delegates. So on March 30th, during the Senate district breakout, you will do a preference poll. You will pick a candidate. And then again, if you are made a delegate, if you're one of the 73 people who's a delegate, then you will get to vote on April 10th as well. And by the way, being a delegate is never binding. So you can change your mind between March 30th and April 10th. You probably won't, but you could.
Okay. But if you wanted to see it through to the end of that, you'd have to attend all 3 of those meetings.
That is correct. It's a big commitment.
Okay, just making sure I have that straight.
It's confusing.
One last question. It looks like we're good. Kathryn, thank you very much. You did a great job.
Yeah, thank you.
I'll see you all on March 9th.
Thank you. Next topic is our goals for the year. Last month on Zoom, we came up with a list, kind of brainstormed. Those items are all up here and you'll be able to come closer to see these in a bit. But we're going to put them on the screen and people at home should be able to see the list of what we came up with last month. What we're going to do today is everybody who's in the room is going to get little stickers, 4 blue ones and a green one. Those of you at home can put in the chat which ones you want to be green and which one you want to be blue. The blue ones mean out of all these great goals, and they're all good, these are 4 that I would like prioritized this year. The green one means not only would I like it prioritized, but I'm willing to co-lead an effort to make this actually happen over the next 10 months. So it's really crucial that people put their initials. It doesn't mean you have to run it yourself. It just means we got somebody who's going to help out on making APA move forward with this goal. You don't have to have a green one with your initial on it, but if all you do is the blue one, and we get one up here with 7 blue stickers and no green sticker, then probably won't be able to prioritize it for the year if we don't have somebody that's gonna help take the lead on that. So Allison is gonna talk us through these, so the people in the back of the room can hear them. And those of you online can kind of follow along, and then those of us in the room will get our stickers, and those of you at home can, anytime you want, start writing in the chat. This one's my favorite, this one's my favorite, and I think the ones online have numbers on them, so you can just tell Taylor, I want 2A or 3B. So Allison's gonna run the show for a bit, and I'm gonna distribute stickers.
Well, I wonder if now would be a good time to display the thing with respect to the discussion.
Yep.
So one of the issues that came up on the February meeting was how do I get involved? Not only at the local level, but beyond the local level. So I've prepared a sheet here. Oh, you started screen sharing too.
Well, you told me to screen share.
I'm screen sharing.
Okay. Okay. There you go.
All right, so I have here a list of all the different individuals who are running in our local areas, so you can get involved directly with any one of the individuals.
Screen
If you
sharing's
like,
not showing.
You're not screen sharing.
It was showing earlier, but it's not showing now.
can you see it now?
Yes.
All right,
I'm
so
seeing the meeting on Lakewood.
so if you want to get involved directly with a local candidate, I have all of their different websites listed here. Kathryn talked about all these people. I also have a link here for the Jefferson County Democratic Party, and again, if the accusation is that we are not a part of the Democratic Party, I plead guilty and throw myself in the mercy of the court. If you are here because you want to get active with Republicans or the Nazis or the Ku Klux Klan, then I suggest you're probably attending the wrong meeting. There are two different programs that are good to get active in areas beyond Arvada, beyond Jefferson County, beyond Colorado. The first is Indivisible. So Indivisible has a project, Project 2024. You can sign up, and what they're going to be trying to do is to target swing elections across the country. We have a texting program that's available through Indivisibles. We also have a thing called Field Team 6. And this also is a texting program that, again, will go to various areas. Again, if anybody wants a copy of this, either give me your email address before you leave here today, and I will send a copy to you, or enter it into the chat.
And we'll send it out in the newsletter.
Can I add something? Two other organizations that I encourage people to support and get involved in. One is Our Revolution, which is also prioritizing progressives in swing states. And the other is Working Families Party, which has been instrumental in turning Colorado around. And they're also doing a lot of work in swing states. So Working Families Party and Our Revolution, there's a lot of other groups that you can investigate on yourself. But I just want to mention those two because they're. Repeat those two again. Our Revolution, which is Bernie Sanders' group that he started. And the other one is Working Families Party. Okay. Yeah.
Can you send information and links to Elson?
Okay.
And we'll make sure that that gets on the website too.
Okay.
I think the Working Families Party is already in this list.
Okay.
So, and I'll make sure that, so this, I'm gonna just take everybody quickly through, if you weren't at last meeting, we're gonna go through everything that's on this board, so you don't have to read that text up there really small. I've also got it on the screen here. It's a Google Doc and it matches. We brainstormed last meeting. At the end of this, if you're like, I have a great idea and it's not on that list, we do have an other ideas area over here. We can add a few more. And then once I'm done going through the list, we'll come up, we'll do our sticker activity where you can post your stickers on here or put in the chat which, what your priorities are. So I'm just gonna take you through the list really quick. So starting with number 1, it's also over here on the board. I've numbered them so that they're kind of the same order as here. One idea was to really focus on get out the vote with local high schools and colleges in the area, register youth voters. So this could be through Jeffco Public Schools, that sort of thing. So that's idea 1. Idea 2, down here, repurposing Jeffco school buildings. Now, us as APA, we can't repurpose the buildings, but what we could do is meet with school board, meet with city council, and try to advocate for these empty buildings being community centers. What could they be? They could be health centers, lactation centers, early motherhood classes, boys and girls clubs, a safe place for kids to hang out and get meals, do after school activities. It could be a homeless navigation center. It can't be housing because it's not zoned for housing, but it could be support services for unhoused individuals. One idea was like a migrant market, that sort of thing. So the ideas are sort of endless, but the idea is that we don't want these school buildings to just sit empty. We want them to be community centers for, specifically for the closed schools in Arvada. Yes.
Just in terms of what you just said, they couldn't be housing because they're not built for housing. Is there no possibility for them to be converted to housing down the road?
If the city rezones them, they work through the city, for example, and it's rezoned for housing, yeah.
Yeah, the buildings themselves are not really good for housing in the sense that they're large classroom sized rooms like this with a bathroom down the hall. So could it be a women's shelter with a bathroom down the hall? Yes, but it's probably better served as like a meeting place for nonprofits or a place for people to come get food, that sort of thing. We're like, sort of like this room where like you could have an activity or something set up in this room. Could you convert it into housing? Yes, but it would probably be an expensive turn. So it's possible, but maybe not the best use of the school building. But, you know, like no idea is a bad idea.
Community meeting room, maybe APA.
Community meeting room, we could meet there instead, that sort of thing. And it's really just to advocate for, this is not like APA is not going to be converting the school buildings, but we will be attending the meetings to help try to understand what those buildings could be, and advocate for them to be community centers or navigation centers. All right, so number 3, which is up second thing over, advocate for affordable housing throughout all of Arvada. This city the council is already in agreement that we need affordable housing. It sounds like they have agreed to the navigation center and a 24-hour shelter. So now it's mostly just staying engaged with the city council on that, making sure they follow through, following up with them. And then just some other ideas of like, trying to understand the NIMBY perspective, and advocating on the citywide about how we can make sure we get, navigation centers or affordable housing in every neighborhood in Arvada, not just in the industrial section of Arvada, the far east side. We need affordable housing on the west side of the city as well. Yay. So number 4, this is gonna be like, there's a bunch of things under 4, so you can put stickers on all of, or different ones because they're all they're not all the same. So Arvada City Council calls to action for the city council. So first one is what Bruce had talked about, the resolution for a ceasefire for the city council to adopt. Second one, we've talked about cleaning up Clear Creek Trail. There's lots of encampments down there. What can the city do? Maybe put a trash dumpster out there to like support not just trash going into the river. This one, I can't remember who advocated for this, so I might need a little extra information, but change outdated discriminatory policies the city has on the books I'm assuming there's maybe some, who put that, does anyone remember? I'm assuming this is, something to do with outdated policies or just having an advocate for making sure that policies that go into place or policies that were in place are like taking the whole look of like, making sure they're not racist, making sure they're not sexist. There's probably some old policies that might have some questionable wording is what I'm assuming, but I'm not sure who put this on there. So, change in the city website. This is kind of an easy one, but Bruce had already just said that it's hard to find the information about the board meeting and when they're meeting or get to their emails, that sort of thing.
Getting to their emails and stuff. You just have to be.
Maybe that's intentional.
Patient.
They don't want people to email
Oh, it's
them.
right there. Once you get it there, it's a nice page.
So just kind of advocating, like they need to we're all very engaged, individuals, but making it easier for Arvadans to be engaged with the city council. So that's kind of what that goal is. Advocate for, compost. We had talked about this years ago. Now we have a new city council. So I think it's good to bring it up again, about composting in Arvada. Maybe if it's not a door-to-door pickup, it could be a drop-off station that's free to all residents, something like that. And then just in general, this one is about like having an APA seat on the planning commission, or is it Aura? Is that how we say AURA? We just need somebody who is kind of a liaison from the city council to APA that's there all the time and can come back to the group and like report back on it. So if you're interested in doing that, that would be what that one is for. G, can we collaborate with local unions? So if anybody has connections or ties with a local union, and they have ideas of how we can partner with the city hall, that's what that action item is for. And then, we kind of mentioned this in the advocate for affordable housing. I'm actually going to move that under. Actually, it's under calls to city action, but I already talked about it. This is just monitoring the progress on that navigation center that they have promised that they will move forward on. All right. Any questions? Sorry, I know I'm blowing through the list fast. Okay. Arvada for city council sustainability practices. That's down there. Urban sprawl, trying to ask the city to stop approving urban sprawl and focus on city density. That could also include transportation and resources, making sure things are close to resources. Continuing to reduce water for use in parks. I know that the city's like swapping out grass for more less water intensive grass, stuff like that. City infrastructure, moving closer to renewable energy. And then Darlon mentioned this one, but this is the Jeffco School Sustainability School Plan. This is not for the City Hall. This is for Jeffco as a whole. So that would be beyond Arvada. All right, moving on to section 6, bills and ballot measures to watch. That's on this page, the second from the end. We've got, and you can see it up on here, we've got initiative 89, which is, there's a petition out right now to sign, to enshrine abortion access in the Colorado Constitution. It is already legal in Colorado. We want to put it in the Constitution so it would be very difficult to overturn. So if you want to get involved in that, that's an initiative going to be on the ballot. Well, yeah, they have to get the signatures. If you look on here, maybe I can zoom in a little bit.
Where do you put your green dots?
Where do you put the green dot?
Blue dot, is it up there on the blue dot?
I haven't put, no stickers are up here yet.
No, where do you put, I can't find the spot where you said it's trying to.
Oh, the bills and ballot measures are on this paper here and once you get up close, you'll be able to come up here and like read it. It's on right next to number 6 that says sign the petition for the initiative. So once you get up close, I know it's kind of hard to see it from back there, but once you get up close, you'll be able to. It's hard. Ballot or Kathy was talking about this, the HB 24-1075, the analysis of universal healthcare payment system. They're already working on that, but that's an important one. Ballot Initiative 91. This was specifically from a member, Michelle Delaria, to ban fur trapping of bobcats and trophy hunting of mountain lions. That is another one that's collecting signatures right now in Colorado. And then the 350.org Colorado branch is working on a bill to phase out fracking, which Darlon also already mentioned.
It's got a number now, so it's Senate Bill 24-159. A few weeks ago, they didn't have a number, but now we do have a number.
What was that number again?
24-159.
And that's for what?
Senate Bill 24-159, phasing out the new oil and gas permits by 2030.
Senate bill. Okay. All right, that's it for that. And then number 7 up at the top, partnering with national groups. Taylor had talked about Indivisible. What was that number again?
Senate Bill 24-159.
This is, we don't have to talk about like your individual group. This is sort of like a thing on its own. We need to figure out, like, APA is not having a texting campaign for the national election, but we can partner with groups that are like Indivisible, Vote Forward, does postcards and letters, that sort of thing. So it would be nice to have somebody that was leading this up that could say, okay, we're having a postcard writing party. We're going to download 100 letters. Please come here and do that. So that's kind of what that national partner group, partner with national groups, that item is all about. And then last but not least, APA internal tasks. Do we need another venue for our meeting rooms? The Wi-Fi sucks in this building. What do we do? So if somebody would like to head up or has a great idea for a new meeting place, that's what that is about. And then we would like to recruit more members. So we want to get involved with festivals. Arvada Festival is having a booth there and recruiting more members. So that is on that list as well. Now that was very long. Does anybody have an idea that is not on this list? I know that there's 3 that were already written up there. Work on US presidential race. I think that sort of falls under the partner with national groups. Improve Medicare for all. Would that fall under your bill or just in general?
That's more the federal side of it, so
Okay.
we would be, there are national groups out there that are doing that, and we're trying to do it on, with our representatives. So I don't know if you want to put
So
that
those are
under.
2 different things?
No, the one for Colorado I put in, I didn't realize it was already up there. So you can cross that one out because it's already there. The 1075 is the Colorado Universal Single Payer Healthcare Bill for analysis. But the other one would be at the federal level, and that's
So there's 2 different things on there. There's the single payer on a federal level, and then there's the House bill.
Yeah,
So we want to leave
they're
both of them
separate.
on.
And
We
then-
want to leave both of them on the list.
okay, I thought that
Or is that what you're
75
saying?
is already up, is already,
1075 is already up there.
But isn't that just for Colorado?
yeah,
1075?
That's just for Colorado, and then
Right,
there's
right.
another one on single payer.
right,
And
that's
federal.
the big,
So
yeah.
we want both of them.
We
People
want
can
both
put
of them.
stickers on both of them
Both of them.
and we can
Right,
combine it
okay.
later if we want.
Okay.
So that number 11 for you, that's just for Colorado. That's the bill that you were already talking about. Okay, I'm gonna leave that one off. But the national one, I'll leave that one on. Okay, does anybody online or in the room
Tax second homes.
tax second homes?
I'll be the only dog.
Maybe.
I'll put the green one right up there.
All right, I put on Wendy, did
Yeah,
you
put
have
the
one?
green one.
Oh, okay. Does anyone online? I'm just looking, so I can't. Just speak up if you do. Nope. Okay, nobody online, nobody else in the room, going once.
Did you have something?
Well, it's a procedural question for everybody. So this is this is a lot. And everyone has 4 stickers or 4 votes, and there's nothing preventing someone from putting all 4 on what they really care about, for
They
example.
better put a green one with their
That's my
initials on, if
Yeah.
they're gonna put all 4 blue.
Leadership, someone's gonna do it. So that
Yeah.
was the point.
Excellent, yes. If
So-
all we do is blue dots, we're probably not going anywhere with
Yeah.
this.
So this is a volunteer organization, and so what we need is volunteers. And so if you feel very passionately about one of these, it does not mean you're heading the whole initiative and you are by golly getting this done by the end of the year. It just means that you'll show up for a city council meeting, or you'll send an email, or maybe you'll help organize a speaker to come to APA sometime this year. It just means that you will do more than just put your sticker on it. If you put your green sticker up there. And then for those of you that are at home, what you can do in the chat is you can see this list, and I'm gonna zoom out so you can see like the whole list. And you can, it's be really hard to show. I'll just send you the link. I'm gonna put the link in the chat, so you can see the link in the chat, and you can put, blue, this one, blue, this one, blue, this one, green is the one that you're willing to put in. So just put your votes into the chat. We will put them up here on the board so we can see, and then the thing that gets the most votes, we're gonna it doesn't mean we're not gonna do the other things. It just means that those are where we're gonna focus energy on this year.
I have a question,
Yeah.
now, we're expected to put our initials on?
Only on the green one.
If you have a green one, you put your initials on, right?
Yeah.
So we can identify you,
Right.
and we can,
So if you need a marker, there's markers up here. If you just wanna put all you need is an A, P for me,
yeah.
or Bruce with
Yeah.
a swiggle.
Yeah.
So, okay, we're gonna.
And we have 4 blue dots and 1 green dot, is that right?
Yes.
4 blue
Us online that don't have dots?
Yes, 4, is it 4 blue or 3? 4 blue, yes, sorry. All right, hey, if everyone could, who's done, take a seat, and we'll just finish up the meeting, and then.
There's plenty of time.
Yeah.
Really?
So
Let's see. 14.
what we're gonna do, because the meeting is nearing the end, and we're recording all the online votes. Taylor has recorded them, and we're gonna put the stickers up on the board so that we can capture this. And what we'll do, because we're at the end of the meeting, so we can see, and we'll leave these up at the end of the meeting so you can see. But we'll take these down, count all the votes, and then, we'll post it on our blog, so you'll be able to see what got the most votes. And, we'll send it out in the newsletter, that sort of thing. I don't know if I'm gonna know everybody's initials, though. How are we going to capture?
Why don't can we identify who AP is?
That's me.
Can we identify
Yeah,
DC or
that's
PC?
the- Ron, yes.
Maybe what I'll do actually is, have a sign up here, and you can put your name, your initial, and your email, so we can actually get in touch with you. If you volunteered to head up something, I can email you and be like, great.
And we have some of them from the chat also.
Right, you've signed up for this, and I think from the chat, we do have names associated with it, so we'll be able to say, okay, green 4E, for Harriet and Kate and everybody who's still on the chat. we'll be able to see. So since it's 5:30, I don't want to keep people, like, if you've got places to go, since it's technically the end of the meeting, but we will post all of this. If everyone in the chat could, well, it looks like Harriet already put her email in, but if you haven't put your email in, please do. And then we'll get in touch with you about the things that you volunteered for, but, I think this is really great. Like, I think everybody, just because something doesn't have a sticker next to it, doesn't mean we won't work on it, just we'll move forward on these priorities, and then if we have extra energy, we can move forward on other stuff too, so, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, for participating.
GD.
Here, I have a piece of paper right here, if you could, everybody come up.
Duncan, you're.
Georgia.
Yes,
Georgia.
yeah.
Yeah. So
Oh,
we
you're
just,
writing it on
we want to
there.
get names
Perfect.
to match the green dot.
Awesome. All right,
Thank you
so
all.
meeting adjourned.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We are adjourned. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, man.
I think the stickers worked.
Yeah.